Just to summarise a few of our testing numbers, so again, 37,509 test results received yesterday, over 4 million test results now since the start of the pandemic. It's also over 100,000 tests over the last 3 days. And my thanks to all those 100,000 people and the many thousands before in the days preceding for doing the right thing and coming out and getting tested. It is such an important part of our response, and particularly as we discussed in recent days, it's so important now as we try to identify any other remaining mystery cases that are out there at the moment, any other linkages to the existing BlackRock cluster. We only identify these cases through testing, and although we now have a heap of work to do with the new case that the acting Premier and Alan have talked about, it is so important that we identify these cases, and we're very glad that the individual in question came forward so we can establish his movements and now do the detective work of understanding where he may have got the infection from. Just to confirm on the BlackRock cluster, of course, that remains our most significant and active cluster, 27 active cases in the BlackRock cluster, no new positives today. That, of course, is very welcome. Still at least 1,300 people who are primary close contacts or secondary close contacts that are still isolating, and we continue to work with them. We thank them for their support in doing the right thing as they go through their isolation periods. We still have work to do around the BlackRock cluster to make sure we maintain those controls. A lot of work happening with the isolation sites, and my thanks again to the exposure sites for all the cooperation they're providing to ensure that we contact everybody who may have been in contact with the positive cases around BlackRock. In terms of the positive cases, as Alan has given a pretty good description of where we are with this new mystery case, we are concerned about identifying where is the source of acquisition for this case. So we have a good understanding of the downstream contacts they've made. We have good primary close contact information. They're all isolating and being tested. We have more work to do, and we have a number of leads to follow up in terms of possible sources of acquisition. That includes a number of people this individual has come into contact with. We're following them up directly over the coming hours, but we want to identify to people now that there is a potential, and I stress potential, acquisition source at both Chadstone on Boxing Day and the MCG on the second day of the test on the 27th. With regard to Chadstone, there are currently 10 stores that we know that this individual has visited. I'll read them out. They will be on our website. The stores at Chadstone in which we are most interested at this point, so if you were in these stores on Boxing Day the 26th in the morning between 6 in the morning and 2 p.m, at Culture Kings, at Huffer, at JD Sports, at JJ's, H&M, Uniqlo, Maya, Superdry, Dumplings Plus, or Foot Locker, then we want you to get tested. We need you to get tested today because we're trying to identify the needle in a haystack exercise of who might be positive. We are particularly interested in people who went to those stores on Boxing Day who may not have felt well at that time. We're particularly interested in people who went to those stores on Boxing Day who may have been in New South Wales. So please, if you've been to those stores, please come forward to get tested. Now, we will, during the course of the day, we are tracking the individual's mobile phone movements around Chadstone. We will be identifying the time zones that the individual was in these stores during those time periods. So again, we would encourage people to check in again during the course of the day. As we get more information, we will be updating our website. I do not exclude the possibility of us identifying additional stores, but we will refine and improve this as we get through the course of the day and as information becomes available, particularly from the GPS records that we're working with. And my thanks again to Chadstone for their outstanding cooperation over the earlier hours of this morning. It's going to be a busy couple of days for us with the Chadstone team. Similarly, the MCG, as Alan has said, the second day of the test, only between 12:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon. So it's not the whole day. It was essentially the extended lunch period from 12:30 to 3:30 on the 27th in the Great Southern Stand in Zone 5. The MCG has an outstanding COVID-safe plan. They have clearly defined zones that contains a number of people who this individual could have come into contact with within the MCG. We will be sending messages to all the registered patrons who are in the Zone 5 of the Great Southern Stand to invite them to get forward to get tested. But if you're hearing this message now and you were in Zone 5 on the Great Southern Stand on the second day of the test at 12:30 to 3:30, then please come forward to get tested. Now, we do have a testing team that will set up at the MCG today at lunchtime. It is a walk-up clinic. It is an additional walk-up clinic. I stress to anybody who is potentially has a connection with Chadstone or with the MCG on those dates and times, please go to your nearest testing centre. Please do not come to Chadstone. Chadstone is already one of our busiest testing stations. It's obviously extremely busy area. We would like you to get tested where you are now. Please don't feel the need to come back to the venue. Check on our website, check on the testing site capability or availability, check on the waiting times, and please come forward to get tested. Again, I'm expecting a very busy day today. There are clearly up to 7,000, 8,000 people in Zone 5 at the MCG. There will be many thousands of people who've been through Chadstone. We will try and narrow this down as much as we possibly can today, and we'd ask for your support to do so. And please give us a call if you have any concerns and whether you think this may apply to you. With regard to two more updates from me, with regard to exemptions, we're continuing to process exemptions for people coming in from New South Wales and other states. My thanks to everybody for their patience and working with us on that. I'm pleased to confirm we have granted 295 exemptions over the last few days. We have around 3,452 exemptions that are still being processed. We have over 30, 40 people now working through that exemptions process, and we have an online portal that went live at midnight last night, whereby people can apply online for an exemptions permit to ease that application process. We are triaging, we are dealing with the most urgent cases first. Please be patient, and we will work with you to deal with those cases who have a genuine need to come back into our state at this time.